The South African Durban Community Environmental Alliance is hosting a week of community dialogue on the impact of climate change and pollution. Along with Africa Climate Justice, the experts from across the continent will join this discussion. Today, subsistence fisherfolk will share their stories about how poor water quality has impacted on their trade. Newzroom Afrika's Karinda Jagmohan is at this meeting in Austerville. I wonder where that is. I've never heard of that place in KZN. Karinda, good morning to you. You'll explain to us where Austerville is, but also why is this event important, particularly for communities that rely on fishing?
Indeed. So we're here in Austerville. It's just south of Durban. And this meeting is an alternative to COP27, which is the United Nations Climate Change Conference that's happening this year in Egypt. But here we see communities gathered to speak about how climate change is impacting them. Only we have seen a number of natural disasters in April, the floods, but also globally in Italy, Japan, Pakistan, flooding causing death, and of course more imminent natural disasters caused by climate change, and of course the impact of pollution. To speak more about this, I'm joined by Desmond Dazar, a renowned environmentalist here in Durban. So thanks for speaking to us. We've got a number of community members here, but how are you going to assist them with the climate change issues we're facing daily?
Well, this conference, the alternative COP27, is happening all over the African continent. West Africa, East Africa and Southern Africa. So people are gathering all over. And the reason people are gathering all over is people who have been affected with climate change. At the moment, right now, in Nigeria, huge flooding, people's homes have been washed away, people's livelihoods have come to a standstill. And as we have witnessed on the 12th of April, people's livelihoods came to a standstill completely. They lost all their homes, they lost their families in Durban. And more importantly, they were living in community halls. Now, those people have been moved out of community halls by the government and into transit camps, and where there's no water and no sanitation at all. So people are gathering here to tell their stories and to link up with the entire continent so that we can start working together, because the people have now realized that government has abandoned them and that the government is supporting big corporation at the expense of the masses of the people of this country and of this continent.
We have subsistence fisherfolk, as we call them, men and women, who will come here today. What will be their concerns they'll mention?
Their issue is that the fishing on the entire coastline has been stopped completely because all the beaches are closed. There's a certain species that have been killed on most of the beaches in Durban because of the high levels of E. coli, but also the chemicals, and the government hasn't come to the rescue of these poor people. And the reason that they are here is that they cannot put food on the table at home for their families.
Dazar, thank you so much. We're going to continue this conversation as the day goes on. The people here behind me will be going to the stage to speak about how climate change issues are impacting them and what they need to support them going forward. Like we hear now, these meetings are happening across the continent for people, community members to come through and have their voice heard. Of course, concerns as well of what will be happening going forward as we see extreme weather patterns as well, and how people need to be protected amid the imminent natural disasters.
Karinda Jagmohan, thank you very much for that update live for us in the area of Austerville in KZN. All right.